We've extensively tested the new Xiaomi Redmi Pad 2 Pro over the last few weeks, comparing it with direct competitors like the Lenovo IdeaTab Plus, the Honor Pad 10, and its own predecessor, the Redmi Pad Pro. The Redmi Pad Pro was our value pick last year. Can it keep the title this year? Well, we actually found one major weakness that might make it unusable for some people. We'll start with its greatest strength, the hardware and performance. Xiaomi has equipped this tablet with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 processor. You can find two storage variants, 6GB RAM with 128GB storage and 8GB RAM with 256GB storage. And you can expand the storage using a microSD card. Our Geekbench comparison shows that the CPU performance is about 20% better than the Redmi Pad Pro, while the GPU performance has more than doubled. This puts its performance roughly on par with the Honor Pad 10. Also, it's significantly better than the Lenovo IdeaTab Plus, a direct and very new competitor. For everyday tasks, the performance is excellent. Browsing the internet and a bit of multitasking all run smoothly. For our gaming test, we naturally installed Fortnite. At the lowest graphics settings, you can select a 120fps preset and the game feels super fluid. However, it seems to always be kept at 60fps regardless of settings, even on the 120fps mode. That's probably a software bug. Regardless, even with epic graphics settings, the game still runs smoothly at about 60fps. With max graphics settings, Minecraft causes the tablet to stutter. But sure, Minecraft runs flawlessly once you turn the settings down a bit. The same goes for almost every other game. We also played Crossout, and that runs between 70 to 100 FPS at max settings, which is great. Especially when you consider the price, the performance is very strong, making it our new value pick in this category. At 12.1 inches, the Redmi Pad 2 Pro is a larger tablet weighing in at a rather heavy 610 grams. We're surprised by the weight, as the similar size IdeaTab Plus weighs only 530 grams. However, the Redmi does pack a very large battery. At 7.5mm, it's also comparatively thick. Overall, the build quality is solid but not outstanding. While it's largely made of aluminium, the transition from the display to the body doesn't feel very premium. On the bright side, there's a headphone jack in addition to USB-C port, but unfortunately the USB-C port only supports USB 2.0 speeds. We wish it had a fingerprint reader, but that's typically only standard on tablets that cost much more, like about double as much. There's an 8MP camera on both the front and back, capable of recording Full HD videos. The quality is okay, for video chats at least, but not much more. The 12.1-inch LCD panel has a 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. Standard brightness is 500 nits with a peak brightness of 600. When viewed directly straight on, the display is pleasantly bright, even slightly brighter than its predecessor, and it's nice and sharp. However, at an angle, it shows some significant weaknesses. It looks noticeably darker than the competition, including its predecessor. The major weakness isn't just a poor viewing angle, it's also HDR content. HDR video looks very dark on the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Colors appear flat and lack vibrancy. The predecessor was significantly better here, and the other competitors don't have issues with HDR either. This weakness can be put into perspective depending on how often you watch HDR content. For instance, I almost never do, partly because my Netflix subscription doesn't include HDR. It only came up because we perform an HDR test as a standard procedure. But clearly, if you have a Netflix subscription with HDR, the Honor Pad 10 and Lenovo IdeaTab Plus are much better suited for you. Aside from the HDR issue, Netflix is just fine on the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Furthermore, the speakers are actually a highlight for the price. They get louder than all the competitors and sound quite good with Dolby Atmos enabled. Xiaomi offers both an official keyboard cover and the Redmi Smart Pen for the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Both must be purchased separately, and they also charge separately via USB-C. The keyboard cover connects via Bluetooth, and since the display is so large, the keyboard can also be large, making it quite comfortable to type on even longer texts. However, the entire thing is plastic and doesn't feel that high quality. We also miss a touchpad, although all competitors unfortunately lack one too. It's safe to say that an official cover like this is almost always better than third-party options. The Redmi Smart Pen works surprisingly well. In the Note Shelf 3 app, the pen reacts quickly and accurately and is comfortable to hold. It's definitely very usable for taking notes or making a quick sketch. Still, if the stylus is your top priority, we recommend the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Lite with the S Pen instead. The tablet ships with HyperOS 2 based on Android 15. According to the Xiaomi Security Center, security updates are guaranteed until November 2029. That's 4 years of support, which is solid for a device in this price range. HyperOS 2 is pleasantly clean, responds quickly, and features nice animations. Crucially, there's no pre-installed bloatware, which is great. Though there's no desktop mode, you can't connect the tablet to external monitors anyway. The battery is exceptionally large at 12,000 mAh and charges with 33 watts. In our battery test, where we run an HD YouTube video on an endless loop at max brightness, the Redmi Pad 2 Pro achieves a runtime of 8.68 hours. That's a decent score, but it's not beating any records. The Xiaomi Redmi Pad 2 Pro definitely has a few weaknesses. The viewing angles could be better, HDR content isn't reproduced well, and it's very heavy for its size. But in return, the processor performance is excellent for this price. The speakers are loud and the stylus and keyboard are solid accessories. Overall, we think the value is outstanding. That's mainly thanks to its price. It usually costs around $300 and sometimes gets even cheaper, more in the direction of $200. That said, it's not widely available in the US yet, and actually we are not sure if it will be properly available in the US. If you're in the US, the Lenovo IdeaTab Plus is a great alternative with even a better display. You should definitely check out our review of that tablet because in the US, prices have dropped towards $200 already.